Part 6. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 51. Near noon the next day, Zhang Cheng drove from the villa to Zhou Hao's community. Zhou Hao's family. Zhang Cheng knocked on the door, and it was Zhou Wanqing who opened the door. She wore a casual outfit, a white long-sleeved top and a pair of black trousers. With her good looks, the black and white combination did not look monotonous at all. Her slightly curly black hair made her look youthful and energetic. When she saw Zhang Cheng, Zhou Wanqing showed a touching smile and said in a sweet voice, "Mr. Zhang, please come in." "Thank you." Zhang Cheng took off his shoes, put on the house slippers that Zhou Wanqing placed at his feet, and walked into the living room. "Just this little thing? You can't even wait patiently for a week." After Zhang Cheng walked in, he glanced at Zhou Hao, who was sitting on the sofa and smoking a cigarette, and said in a cold voice. He received a WeChat message from Zhou Hao last night, saying that he came to the door with 1 million as a gift and wanted to get engaged to his girlfriend, but he was rejected. And his girlfriend Huang Jiakai's family seemed to have a firmer attitude after learning that he was working for Zhang Cheng. He also warned him that if he wanted to marry Huang Jiakai, he must break up with Zhang Cheng and marry into their family. Interestingly, the Huang family is attached to the Song family. This is why Zhou Hao didn't know what to do, so he sent a message to Zhang Cheng. After Zhou Hao stood up and sat down to welcome Zhang Cheng, he poured him a cup of tea and said with a wry smile, "Mr. Zhang, I don't understand Jiakai's feelings. When I was with her, we worked hard together and built a company from scratch. Later, I was heavily in debt. She was also by my side, always paying off my debts, and working hard with me. I was in trouble once. I didn't dare to tell Wan Qing about the car accident at that time, but she was always there to take care of me. I didn't dislike me because I was poor. It wasn't until I promised you that I would do something for you that I went to her house with 1 million yuan and wanted to marry her. Only then did I find that their family was not simple, and her family didn't like her at all. With my little money, even if I were at my peak, they still wouldn't look down on me." After finishing speaking, Zhou Hao sighed softly and drank one cup after another of tea. Zhou Wanqing sat aside and poured tea for him silently. Her brother worked too hard and had many ups and downs in his life. Zhang Cheng listened silently. Zhou Hao was still too impatient, perhaps because he changed the plot and made adjustments to the world. If he waits until a week later, his identity as the puppet president is announced, and he comes to the door with the identity of the group president of the future 100 billion consortium, the small Huang family will not dare to say no. Now that they know I'm working for you, their attitude is even more determined than when I came to your door with $1 million, Zhou Hao said depressedly. He had no idea that Zhang Cheng's current reputation was so unpopular in a family with a market value of 1 billion. In Zhang Cheng's conversation with himself 2 days ago, he knew very well that Zhang Cheng still had the capital to make a comeback, and the Huang family's market value of 1 billion was not enough in front of Zhang Cheng. Can they come up with 200 million in cash? Can't take it out? Market cap is market cap, cash is cash. These are two different concepts. It's just a small matter. It can be easily solved by the Huang family. Zhang Cheng waved his hand. He fully knew the attitude of the Huang family. After all, Zhang Cheng's offense against the eldest son of the Song family could be seen by many people in the underground auction house that night, and naturally there were direct descendants of the Huang family among them. Therefore, as the Huang family, which relies on the Song family for survival, they will definitely refuse vigorously when they know that Zhou Hao is working for Zhang Cheng. If Zhang Cheng was still the billionaire CEO, he wouldn't dare to be so absolute even if he had the guts to do so. Facing a bankrupt person, the Huang family was confident that they would not give in to Zhang Cheng. Through this incident, Zhang Cheng was basically certain that he could completely subjugate Zhou Hao for his own use, allowing him to be the puppet president with peace of mind and work for him. Because the previous system prompt only said to change the plot, and did not say to conquer the supporting characters. After thinking clearly about the stakes, Zhang Cheng decided to take Zhou Hao to meet the so-called Huang family. Let's go. Before it's dinner time, I'll accompany you to your girlfriend's house to see how tough the so-called Huang family is. When it came to the latter part, Zhang Cheng's tone changed from the previous calm and gentle tone, and the strong aura of a superior burst out, and the previous calm and easygoing tone disappeared without a trace. At this moment, he is the billionaire CEO who originally made everyone fearful, and the #1 private group in the Magic City. Market capitalization is market capitalization, and individual family wealth is the standard that stabilizes a family. And Zhang Cheng once had a net worth of over 100 billion. Zhou Hao's eyes revealed awe, and he looked up at Zhang Cheng, who had a strong aura. Mr. Zhang, I will never thank you for your kindness. No matter whether this matter succeeds or not, I will follow you. I believe that one day, the Huang family will definitely come to ask me for help. Ding. Congratulations to the host for taking over the supporting character, Zhou Hao. The plot has changed dramatically, and the villain's value is at 2000. Congratulations to the host, the first plot change within 7 days, attribute points add 20, cash add 500 million, the source of funds has been transferred to the account under the host's name in batches through safe channels. Zhang Cheng was in a good mood when he saw Zhou Hao showing his loyalty. Let's go, let me see what qualifications this Huang family has to look down on the person I selected. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 52. Now that he has decided, Zhang Cheng will no longer delay, resolve it as soon as possible, and start as soon as possible. Under Zhou Wangqing's expectant gaze, the two disappeared at the door. In the Lamborghini, Zhang Cheng sat in the passenger seat and closed his eyes to relax, while Zhou Hao became the driver and drove the car attentively. Mr. Zhang, in fact, her grandfather is in control of Jiakai's family, and he is the one who reacts the most. As for Jiakai's parents, they actually don't have any emotions. Zhou Hao drove the car and explained some of the situations in the Huang family to Zhang Cheng. Huang Wangzhou was a small construction company that started from scratch. If they hadn't relied on the Song family in recent years, their market share would have been swallowed up by some of my partners. They are small players and can't make a fuss. The relationship between you and Huang Jiakai's parents must not be too tense, but they are not direct relatives in the Huang family, so they have no say in the matter, and they don't really belong to the Huang family. You don't have to worry. Zhang Cheng calmly analyzed the stakes for him. Strictly speaking, Huang Jiakai's father was just the son of Huang Wangzhou's mistress when he was outside. Because his wife's third child was female, Huang Wangzhou, who favored sons over daughters, took Huang Jiakai's father back regardless of anyone's objections. 2 years later, Huang Wangzhou's wife finally gave birth to a son, and Huang Jiakai's father was left out. So far, I have only held a modest position in a construction company. Zhou Hao secretly wrote down these details, and now he had a deeper understanding of Zhang Cheng. He knew too much, so much that it seemed abnormal. You don't even know the length of this man, it's a bit unfathomable. When people work for him wholeheartedly, they always maintain a wisp of respect for him in their hearts. After driving for nearly half an hour, we soon arrived at the villa community where the Huang family lived. Since we drove the Lamborghini, we had an unimpeded drive all the way to the outside of the Huang family's villa. Looking at the small and medium-sized villa in front of him, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but want to laugh. In the Magic City, this villa is considered a small and medium-sized villa, and the price will not exceed 50 million. I really don't know what Huang Wangzhou is thinking, even his people dare to refuse. In the villa, someone saw the Lamborghini parked outside the door and ran out quickly. A young man stood outside and saw Zhou Hao standing outside the car and Zhang Cheng sitting in the car calmly smoking. It's you again? What are you doing here? The young man put away his envious eyes, looked at Zhou Hao and asked with a frown. Before Zhou Hao could speak, Zhang Cheng said coldly in the passenger seat, "Tell Huang Guangzhou that Zhang Cheng is looking for him." When the young man heard this, his expression changed and his voice immediately changed. "Wait a moment." After saying that, he quickly ran into the villa to inform Huang Guangzhou. After a while, the young man came out and said, "Zhang Cheng, my grandpa lets you in." Zhang Cheng smiled. Sure enough, the down-and-out phoenix was worse than a chicken. In the past, Huang Guangzhou would have rushed out to greet the small Huang family. After getting out of the car, Zhang Cheng didn't care and raised his head. "Let's go." The young man looked at his appearance and couldn't help cursing in his heart, "You are bankrupt and you are pretending to be a chicken feather." The young man led the way. The villa was very small, at least for Zhang Cheng, about 700 to 800 square meters. As soon as he entered the door, in the North American-style decorated hall, an old man with thinning hair and age spots on his face smiled and said, "Mr. Zhang, why do you come all the way here?" Zhang Cheng didn't care, and sat calmly opposite the old man under the gaze of several members of the Huang family. Zhou Hao stood behind him consciously, looking at everyone without any stage fright. "I heard that my partner is in love with Mr. Huang's granddaughter and wants to be together. Mr. Huang is a little unhappy. I just want to ask Mr. Huang this time, is it because the gift is not enough, or is my partner Zhou Hao not good enough?" Zhang Cheng crossed his legs, with a stern expression on his angular face. Huang Guangzhou's face changed slightly, but soon returned to normal, and said with a smile, "No, it's just that my granddaughter is already married, so I can't, ha ha." Zhang Cheng sneered, "Is this nonsense? Are you still doing that old-fashioned thing now? Call out all those involved. It would be better to ask them in person." Zhang Cheng never had a good temper towards those who dared to play tricks with him. Hearing Zhang Cheng's unkind words, a flash of anger flashed in Huang Guangzhou's eyes, but he suppressed it. The direct descendants of the Huang family on the side all expressed their anger on their faces. The chairman of the contemporary Huang group, Huang Guangzhou's youngest son, was about to get angry, but was interrupted by Huang Guangzhou's wave of his hand. "Qingxiang, go and call your eldest brother and his family over." When Huang Qingxiang heard this, he could only suppress his anger towards Zhang Cheng and responded in a deep voice, "Good father." After speaking, he made a phone call. "Father asked your family to come over quickly." After finishing speaking, Huang Qingxiang hung up the phone directly. After waiting for almost 20 minutes, Huang Jiakai's family of 3 hurried into the villa. Looking at the important direct members of the Huang family gathered in front of them, their daughter's boyfriend Zhou Hao was also there. Huang Jiakai's parents' expressions changed wildly. They felt that something was wrong. After all the relevant people had gathered, Zhang Cheng did not let anyone have a chance to speak first. He looked directly at Huang Jiakai and asked, "Miss Jiakai, are you engaged?" Huang Jiakai looks pretty good. Although she is not particularly beautiful, she still has the temperament of Xiajiabiu. At this moment, she looked confused. When Zhang Cheng asked, she decisively replied, "No." Immediately, Zhang Cheng nodded, his eyes returned to Huang Guangzhou, he looked at him with a half-smile, and said in that gentle and jade-like voice, "Mr. Huang, lying is not the right choice. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 53. After being exposed by Zhang Cheng, Huang Guangzhou looked unhappy and snorted coldly, "Humph, Mr. Zhang, this is a family matter of our Huang family. It seems that it is not your turn to decide who my granddaughter will marry, right?" Huang Guangzhou's displeasure showed on his face, and his eyes looking at Jiang Chen were somewhat cold. Yes, but Huang Jiakai also has the right to decide who to marry. How about you ask, Jiang Chen said lightly, not paying attention to his thoughts. A Huang family is not worthy of his attention. Miss Jiakai, let me ask you, do you want to be with Zhou Hao? Jiang Chen smiled and looked at Huang Jiakai, who was standing uneasily at the side. After Huang Jiakai's family of 3 came to the lobby of the villa, they stood in a position not close to anyone. Moreover, Jiang Chen looked at other members of the Huang family. They looked at Huang Jiakai's family of 3 in unfriendly ways. It was obvious that they were excluded in this family. After all, Huang Wangzhou was born when he was a romantic and had a mistress. Compared with people like them who have official status, they are the first to be squeezed out when the entire Huang family does not have much property. Huang Jiakai looked up at Zhou Hao's expectant eyes, and remembered that her parents had done so much for the Huang family, but in the end they were still marginalized, and she quickly gritted her teeth and stood up. Mr. Zhang, I want to be with Hao. As soon as he finished speaking, someone from the Huang family immediately yelled. Insolent, Huang Jiakai, don't forget, you are still a member of the Huang family. You have forgotten what your grandfather told you yesterday, right? Huang Qingzhong, hurry up and take care of your daughter. You don't know your identity, do you? Be careful that your father will ask you to get out of the Huang family. Huang Jiakai's words aroused great repercussions, and her aunts and uncles made angry remarks. Huang Qingzhong, who looked honest and loyal, looked a little unhappy when he was scolded by everyone, but he was more dissatisfied with the Huang family. Sister, Jiakai didn't grow up here in the first place. Let her decide the happiness she wants. Why are you trying to stop her? Have I not done enough for the Huang family over the years? Aren't these contributions enough to bring my daughter happiness? Huang Qingxiang immediately cursed after hearing this, showing no respect for his eldest brother. Huang Qingzhong, don't forget, you are from the Huang family. If it weren't for the resources of our Huang family, what contribution would you have made? Huang Qingzhong's expression kept changing. Beside him, his wife pulled the corner of his clothes and shook her head slowly. Can't fight. Jiang Cheng sat on a chair and watched these people criticizing Huang Qingzhong like shrews, with the smile on his face unchanged. Behind him, Zhou Hao was secretly anxious. Come today, it might make the whole situation worse. Mr. Huang, in this case, let's not argue anymore. How about 5 million as Zhou Hao's gift? Jiang Cheng said with narrowed eyes. 5 million, my Huang family is not short of this. Huang Wangzhou also narrowed his eyes and refused without any hesitation. Zhang Chenjiao said astonishingly, then 100 million will be enough. Suddenly, everyone was shocked. 100 million. Their entire Huang group has a market capitalization of only 1 billion, and the Huang family's cash in hand over the years is probably only about 200 million. Jiang Chen directly raised the betrothal gift to 1/2 of the entire Huang family, leaving everyone shocked and speechless. Even Zhou Hao had a look of astonishment, but then he was deeply moved. Mr. Zhang valued him so much, and he didn't know what to do in return. The smile on Huang Wangzhou's face suddenly stopped. Mr. Zhang, are you sure? To be honest, he was moved. Jiang Chen nodded. Of course Jiang Chen, mean what I say, but this 100 million is for Miss Jiakai's parents. The faces of the members of the Huang family suddenly became filled with greed. Looking at Huang Qingzhong's absent-minded look, they said pitifully. Huang Qingzhong, you have lived in our Huang family for so many years. Just take this 100 million and put it on the Huang family's public account. Yes, your family eats and uses our Huang family's food, so the 100 million dowry money should be redeemed. If you agree, I think my father will let you enter the Huang family tree with your family's name. Huang Qingzhong looked at their greedy faces, and the grievances he had suffered for decades suddenly broke out. He had been ostracized since he was a child, and his name was not even included in the Huang family tree. He also provided for his daughter bit by working at the Huang Group and earning a salary of several thousand yuan. There is absolutely no interaction with these people who live in a privileged environment. Seeing their disgusting faces, Huang Qingzhong, a man who had been honest for half his life, exploded at this moment. Don't even think about this 100 million yuan gift. Jiakai's happiness is not decided by you people. Before Huang Qingzhong finished speaking, Huang Wangzhou, who was sitting in the seat, shouted angrily. Presumptuous! Huang Qingzhong, do you still have the Huang family in your eyes? Do you still have me as your father? If you dare to violate what I said again, your family will get out of my Huang family. Huang Qingzhong's face froze. At this moment, he only felt that his father was extremely strange. All the relatives around him looked at them as if they were looking at an outsider. He had insisted on filial piety for decades, and Huang Wangzhou had done whatever he was asked to do for decades. Wang's family didn't like him, so he moved out when he became an adult. The company he founded was merged into the Huang Group under Huang Wangzhou's order, and the rights were handed over. He also had no objection. Now, Huang Qingzhong suddenly laughed loudly, smiled and burst into tears. In this case, then I, Huang Qingzhong, will no longer belong to the Huang family. From today on, I, Huang Qingzhong, am no longer a member of your Huang family, and you are no longer my father. My mother was critically ill back then, and you never took a look at it. I don't blame you. You asked me to build it from scratch. I also didn't have any complaints about the company and gave it directly to your son Huang Qingxiang. Now, you also want to exchange my daughter's happiness for benefits, but I can't do it anymore. Today, I will no longer be the son. Huang Qingzhong's angry roar resounded throughout the hall, making everyone in the Huang family stunned. They never thought that Huang Qingzhong, a man who had always been humble and submissive in front of them, would dare to disobey their orders today. Huang Qingzhong, you roll your eyes. After being stunned, Huang Qingxiang reacted and pointed at his eldest brother and wanted to scold him, but was ruthlessly interrupted by him. Go away. You unlearned waste. When I handed my company over to you, you kicked out all my brothers and friends. A new potential company was turned into a mess in less than 3 months. You have the nerve to speak. At this moment, Huang Qingzhong's eyes were covered with bloodshot eyes. He looked at his brother and cursed angrily. When Zhang Cheng saw this scene, he didn't feel that he had done anything wrong. He stood up from the chair, clapped his hands, and said with a smile as he walked, "Very good, Mr. Huang Qingzhong, right. I don't know, if I give you this 100 million, do you have the confidence to establish a new construction company in 2 weeks?" From the moment Huang Qingzhong left the Huang family, Zhang Cheng's purpose of coming here this time had been achieved. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 54. Did Zhang Cheng take out 100 million to give Zhou Hao a betrothal gift? No. He gave it to Huang Qingzhong. Rather than letting him and the Huang clan members continue to behave in a low manner, it would be better to expose the grievances he has suffered over the years. In Huang's home, Huang Qingzhong is no different from a stranger. His father didn't want to see him, and everyone else treated him as an outsider. Just because he is a mistress. In these wealthy families, the mistress? That's a plaything. The son he gave birth to was no different from an ordinary person. To reconcile with a family that adapts to the situation, it would be better to directly support one with strength. How can you enjoy the Huang family by supporting someone they despise to rise to power and do something bigger than them? Huang Qingzhong was stunned when he heard Zhang Cheng's words. Not only him, but everyone present was stunned. A bankrupt person wants to support a construction company. Is it just a dream? Such words floated through the minds of all members of the Huang family involuntarily. Zhang Cheng, are you kidding? The construction market in Shanghai has long been saturated, what else are you using to support it? It's ridiculous, Huang Qingxiang reacted and smiled contemptuously. In his opinion, Zhang Cheng was simply kidding. The Huang family has been in the construction industry for many years and has been in a stable state in Shanghai. If they build a new company, where will they go to grab market share? Zhang Cheng glanced at him and said calmly, "Idiot. This idiot really has no brains at all." If Huang Guangzhou hadn't been alive and relied on his brain to support the company, Song would have filed for bankruptcy long ago. Huang Qingzhong said hesitantly, "Mr. Zhang, you don't know the construction industry market in Shanghai. It is no problem to establish a company, but business." It's not that he doubted Zhang Cheng, but that he really couldn't believe it. You only need to ensure that you establish a company within 2 weeks and find a stable supplier, and I will be able to help you open the market. Zhang Cheng waved his hand and said. Hearing this, Zhou Hao thoughtfully remembered what Zhang Cheng said to him. If the notification really comes down. So. Zhou Hao said quickly, "Uncle Huang, you answer Mr. Jiang's question first, and I will tell you something later." Seeing them talking as if no one was watching, Huang Guangzhou's face became increasingly ugly. Zhang Cheng was completely fooling himself just now, and even wanted him to kick Huang Qingzhong out of the Huang family. "Huang Qingzhong, let me ask you one last time, are you sure you want me to drive your family out of the Huang family?" Looking at his father in the first seat, who he had never dared to disobey, he said with a complicated expression, "Father, I want to ask you 2 questions. First, when my mother was critically ill, why didn't you go to the hospital to see her for the last time? Why didn't you spend a penny to treat her? She obviously had a chance to be cured, but you didn't even have the 200,000 yuan in medical expenses. Take it out, why is this? Second, in these years, have you regarded me as a member of the Huang family? Before my household registration was separated from yours, did you record Jiakai's name in the family tree? Who do we think we are in your eyes?" The 2 questions could be answered without thinking at all, but Huang Guangzhou was silent for a long time. Still no explanation was given to him. Seeing this, the last trace of hope in Huang Qingzhong's eyes finally dissipated, and he smiled bitterly and said, "I understand what you mean. Everything I have done over the years is natural in your eyes, and I am just a junior. Completely unimportant." After saying that, Huang Qingzhong took his wife and daughter and fell to his knees on the ground. In front of everyone, he kowtowed 3 times to Huang Guangzhou, lowered his head to the ground, and said in a hoarse voice, "From today on, we will sever all ties between father and son. What I have done for the Huang family these years, including the company I established back then, is enough for me to repay you for your childbirth. You, Huang Guangzhou, are no longer my father, Huang Qingzhong. From today on, you are you, I am me, and I will not take away anything from the Huang family." After saying that, Huang Qingzhong stood up and never looked at the family that made him heartbroken. The 3 of them left the villa without looking back. "Zhang Cheng, have you seen enough jokes? Our Huang family didn't treat you well today, so please leave the Huang family." After Huang Qingzhong left, Huang Guangzhou looked at Zhang Cheng, who was sitting aside and looked like he had nothing to do with himself. His voice was cold, his crutches hit the floor heavily, and he got up and left. When Huang Qingxiang saw that his eldest brother was separated from his father, a hint of joy flashed in his eyes. The entire Huang family would belong to him. He would only have one direct male member left in the Huang family. If he didn't pass it on to him, his father would still give him another. Someone who has severed ties with his father and son? After Huang Qingzhong left, Huang Qingxiang looked at Zhang Cheng with his head held high, and said with a disdainful smile, "Zhang Cheng, let's go, our Huang family won't send you away, You are not welcome here. The 7 or 8 Huang clan members who were still in the hall also sneered when they saw this scene. Get out of our Huang family quickly, so as not to pollute this place. A bankrupt rich second generation doesn't deserve any face from our Huang family, so get out of here. Without money or power, I'm quite good at pretending. Hearing these unabashed sarcasm, Zhang Cheng sneered, foolish family. Do you really think that I can't do anything to you? After a period of time, after Huang Qingzhong is trained, these people can still laugh and think that he is a waste. At this moment, Zhang Cheng had already sentenced the Huang family to death in his heart. Zhang Cheng looked calm on the surface and said softly, Zhou Hao, let's go. If he can't kill the Huang family next, he will be considered incompetent. Look at your triumph, and then look at your desperate expression as you step towards the abyss. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 55. After leaving the villa, Zhang Cheng said as he walked, Zhou Hao, I have given you the opportunity. Whether you can succeed or not depends entirely on you. I will transfer the 100 million to your account, and you can give it to your future father-in-law. I must see the construction company. But the money is not given unconditionally. For 100 million, I must hold 55% of the shares in his construction company. The rest is a wedding gift for you. Zhang Cheng didn't mean to give out 100 million unconditionally to help others. If he could let Zhou Hao's father-in-law participate in the next project, he would already be giving Zhou Hao a lot of face. That 100 million was also given out of profit. All his efforts will be purposeful. Although the profit may not be much, wouldn't it be nice to have a few 100 million more? Even so, Zhou Hao looked at Zhang Cheng's back with gratitude and said confidently, Mr. Zhang, don't worry, I will not disappoint your expectations. In Zhou Hao's eyes, Zhang Cheng has given enough. Not only does he trust himself so much that he will hand over the management of a company with great potential in the future, he also allows himself to support his close associates. Everything he has done so far is enough for him to work hard. Take your life to repay. Zhang Cheng nodded and responded, well, I hope that in about 2 weeks, I will see the prototype of a company taking shape. Money, I will give you 500 million first, and give you a total of 600 million. Don't let me down, do you understand? Zhou Hao nodded solemnly, understood. Zhang Cheng didn't want to ask anything about what he should do next. He just needs to make sure that Zhou Hao fully implements his orders and completes them. If you agree to delegate power, there is no need to do everything yourself. As for the Huang family, it depends on whether Huang Qingzhong will suppress it. Huang Wangzhou didn't even visit his mother's mistress until she died. He couldn't enter the family tree. After carving out the Huang family, he established a new company with his classmates and friends. And then it was annexed, and classmates and friends were kicked out. If such grievances have been suppressed in his heart and Huang Qingzhong did not fight back against the Huang family after the outbreak, then he really is not worthy of being a human being. Anyway, the last words Huang Qingxiang said, in Zhang Cheng's mind, his Huang family will definitely go bankrupt. Zhou Hao drove back to the old housing area. When he got upstairs, he repeatedly asked Zhang Cheng to stay for dinner, but Zhang Cheng declined. Your sister has gone out, and you want me to stay and have dinner with you? What are you thinking about? After leaving Zhou Hao's home, Zhang Cheng drove to the Magic City College of Finance and Economics. The modified Lamborghini entered the college with a roaring roar, found a parking space in the school and stopped directly. Zhang Cheng took out his mobile phone and sent a message to Lin Qingjian, asking her to come out for a meal. Zhou Wanqing didn't wait until dinner, he had to find someone to eat with him. The message was sent and Lin Qingjian quickly received a reply. Not long after, Zhang Cheng saw a girl who seemed to be carefully dressed walking towards him. She was wearing a yellow skirt and a white patterned short-sleeved upper body, looking very young and sweet. Clear and bright eyes, curved willow eyebrows, fair and flawless skin with a hint of pink, and thin lips as delicate as rose petals. Under the girl's curved willow eyebrows, her eyes are clear and beautiful, and her fair and flawless face has a hint of pink. Her thin lips seem to be smeared with a little light lipstick, which makes people want to dab on it. Watching the girl gradually approaching, a smile gradually appeared on Zhang Cheng's angular and handsome face, which made the girls passing nearby mesmerized. In fact, Zhang Cheng liked Lin Qingjian quite a lot, and one look at her made him feel quite happy. "Senior Zhang Cheng, let's go, I'll treat you to dinner." Arriving next to Zhang Cheng, Lin Qingjian smiled and looked at Zhang Cheng with a hint of shyness. After the stubble that had been hanging on his face was shaved off, Senior Zhang Cheng seemed to be becoming more and more charming. Zhang Cheng smiled slightly. "Qingjian, you look so cute when you dress up." Lin Qingjian's face turned red when she heard Zhang Cheng's last three words. Even a girl would be moved when faced with compliments from a handsome man like Zhang Cheng. "Get in the car, I see you haven't been paid yet, so I'll treat you to this meal today." After saying hello, Zhang Cheng got into the car. No matter what he has experienced before, as long as he has a good-looking girl to accompany him to dinner, it doesn't matter. Lin Qingjian hesitated for a while, nodded slightly, and said with a smile, "Then I'll invite the seniors after my salary is paid." She hasn't gone to the bar to work recently, and her salary hasn't been paid yet, so she only has a few hundred yuan on hand. If this is a meal, it will probably cost more than 200. Zhang Cheng smiled and didn't care. After Lin Qingjian got in the car, he started the car and drove towards a restaurant near the school. When we arrived at the door of the restaurant, we parked the car. Zhang Cheng took her into the restaurant. Looking at the restaurant, which was not too crowded, Zhang Cheng said to the waiter who came over, "You two, find a seat by the window in the lobby." The waiter led the two people to a table and took the menus for them. After ordering, the two of them were about to talk about something when a mocking voice sounded that made people frown. "Hey, how come our Lin University campus beauty, who has always been aloof and frugal, is suddenly willing to come to a high-end restaurant to eat? Hey, are you hooking up with a rich man? Are you a mistress or a chicken?" Hearing this, Zhang Cheng's originally happy expression suddenly darkened. His eyes suddenly glanced to one end. I saw a girl dressed in fancy clothes and heavily painted on her face, looking in the direction of the two of them with a sneer on her face. Lin Qingjian's eyes dimmed and she quickly said, "Wan Li, please speak with respect, and this is my friend." The girl named Wan Li sneered, "Who knows whether it's your boss or you who are rich? They pretend to be so pure and frugal in school, but in the end they are not just a third-rate thing." She disliked Lin Qingjian at school and felt that she was too good at pretending to be pitiful. Those rich second generations happened to like her, which made Wan Li extremely jealous, so she would taunt Lin Qingjian crazily every time she had a chance. Zhang Cheng frowned. This woman spoke too presumptuously, especially in this situation. No one with normal IQ would say these words. At this time, a male voice also sounded. "Lily, is this the school beauty of your class, Lin Qingjian? She is very beautiful, but unfortunately, she is a bitch." Lin Qingjian was not good at arguing. After being ridiculed by the two people, her face turned red. "Hey, are you about to cry? Tisk, tisk, is the mental endurance of being a mistress so bad? Ha ha ha, Lin Qingjian, why don't you come and accompany me? I'll give you 5,000 a night." Before the man could finish speaking, a cup flying out of thin air hit his chest and exploded. "Keep your mouth clean for me." An extremely domineering voice echoed throughout the restaurant. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 56. Everyone looked for help and went out, and then they saw Zhang Cheng was furious. This was the first time that he was so angry, not for anything else, but because these two people unscrupulously slandered a girl in public. Especially near this university town, most of the people eating in this restaurant are students from the Shanghai School of Finance and Economics. When the young man talked more and more, Zhang Cheng couldn't bear it anymore. Is this my person that a cat and a dog like you can wantonly slander? He picked up the goblet on the table and threw it over with his backhand without saying a word. The goblet hit the man's chest and shattered, and the glass shards fell to the ground. The man frowned, covered his chest and shouted at Zhang Cheng, "Who the hell are you? You want to die, don't you?" The people in the restaurant silently put down what they were doing, and sat in their seats to watch what was happening here. For people nowadays, the most important thing is to watch the show. There were even several people who didn't mind the matter and took out their mobile phones to take pictures. Zhang Cheng glanced at him coldly, and an unprecedented fierceness burst out, making the man in the center suddenly tremble. Standing up from his position, Zhang Cheng walked towards the man step by step. Beside the man, Wan Li was still looking at Zhang Cheng dreamily, but when she saw him walking towards her boyfriend, she said in a sharp voice, "What do you want to do? We just said a few words. Do you still want to hit someone?" In Wan Li's opinion, what she just said was perfectly normal. This man was not a simple person based on his dress. But her boyfriend is also a rich second generation. Looking back at Lin Qingjian, who was sitting on the chair, a little scared and cowering, Zhang Cheng took a deep breath. His eyes were sharp and his voice was cold. "You're right, I really want to hit someone right now." When the man heard this, he immediately said, "Which family are you from?" "Let me tell you, my cousin is Song Qing of the Song family. If you dare to mess with me, I will make it impossible for you to survive in the Devil City." Zhang Cheng was stunned when he heard this, and then laughed. It turned out to be a member of the Hu family. Could this person be his cousin Hu Wenbin, whose legs were broken by Song Qing himself and sent to Yetian? "Your name is Hu Wenbin. Do you know me? Since you know my name, kneel down and apologize to me quickly, otherwise your family will wait for the revenge of my Hu family." Hu Wenbin immediately became arrogant when he saw this. Zhang Cheng was suddenly stunned just now. In his opinion, he was scared because he heard that he was from the Hu family. Zhang Cheng grinned, his speed suddenly exploded, and he rushed directly in front of Hu Wenbin. "If you dare to ask me to kneel down, ask Song Qing to come over and ask him if he has the courage." With that said, Zhang Cheng kicked Hu Wenbin away with such force that he flew backwards and fell to the ground screaming in pain. Seeing this scene, everyone in the restaurant was shocked. Their family has some status, so they have naturally heard of the Hu family and the Song family. But they never expected that after Hu Wenbin reported his family background, that handsome young man in a suit would dare to beat him. "Oh my God, how old is he? Aren't you afraid of revenge from the Song family?" "Hey, if you ask me, it's a good fight. It's not uncommon for a piece of shit like Hu Wenbin to use his family background to coerce and lure some girls in school." Wan Li was stunned for a while, until she heard Hu Wenbin's extremely painful scream. She reacted quickly and hurriedly ran to Hu Wenbin to help him up. Wan Li looked at Zhang Cheng with resentful eyes. "You are dead. If you dare to hit Wenbin, just wait for revenge. I just said a few words about that bitch Lin Qingjian, how dare you do such a cruel thing?" Zhang Cheng continued to walk forward, and suddenly smiled when he looked at Wan Li's ordinary face, which could only be rated 7 points even with makeup. "You know, I never thought that one day I would want to hit a woman so much." Snapped. Zhang Cheng suddenly slapped Wan Li hard on her foundation-covered face, which stunned her. "Ah! How dare you hit me?" Wan Li was stunned for a while, and then she wanted to rush up and scratch Zhang Cheng, but was kicked away by him. Zhang Cheng clapped his hands in disgust, and his eyes returned to Hu Wenbin. "What? You look at me like this, Do you think Song Qing can cure me? Hu Wenbin didn't even look at Wan Li, who was kicked away by Zhang Cheng. He endured the pain in his abdomen and gritted his teeth. Who are you? Just as Zhang Cheng was about to speak, suddenly, several figures hurriedly walked down the second floor of the Western restaurant. What the hell, you guys are doing demolition downstairs, so I made a fuss over dinner to the second floor. When the visitors came down and saw this scene, the leader was stunned for a moment, and then quickly rushed forward. Brother Cheng. Why are you here again? After Lu Feng saw Zhang Cheng, he quickly dropped his younger brother and rushed over quickly, thinking that Zhang Cheng came to see him again to meet the big boss. When he saw Hu Wenbin lying at Zhang Cheng's feet, he couldn't help but ask, Brother Cheng, who is this bastard? I want you to beat him yourself. After following Zhang Cheng to see the world, Lu Feng no longer dared to call Zhang Cheng by his first name, but started calling him Brother Cheng. Zhang Cheng smiled lightly. Song Qing's cousin, Hu Wenbin of the Hu family. Hu family? Lu Feng murmured, and then remembered that the day Zhang Cheng told Wu Long that the people who killed his wife were not the Hu family. That day was the first time he saw how terrifying his former underground boss was after he got angry. That killing intent. Tisk tisk tisk. That is, after that day, the Lu family and Wu Long suddenly reconciled. My old man and Wu Long were having a very happy conversation, but their relationship was just a bit overwhelming. Looking at Hu Wenbin, who was lying on the ground, Lu Feng suddenly grinned. Brother Cheng, is this bitch worth your while? Leave it to me. As long as he is still in the School of Finance and Economics, I have plenty of ways to deal with him. At the Shanghai School of Finance and Economics, although Lu Feng did not do anything to bully men and dominate women, no one dared to deny the fact that he was a school bully. There was once a rich second-generation man who had a high self-esteem and whose family owned a company with a market capitalization of more than 10 billion. He provoked him, and in the end he broke his legs and forced him to drop out of school. But Lu Feng didn't do anything, which established his status as the school bully. Zhang Cheng smiled. It was quite worry-free to have such a sensible younger brother. Although Hu Wenbin, who was lying on the ground, didn't know Zhang Cheng, he knew the senior and school bully who was one grade above him. Even as his cousin Song Qing, I'm afraid he has to give Lu Feng some face. When he heard Lu Feng's attentive words, he broke out in cold sweat. Brother Feng, my cousin is Song Qing, please take my cousin's sake. Go away, look at it. Ask your cousin to come over and see if he dares to talk to me and give him some face. Facing Zhang Cheng, Lu Feng was polite and had no temper at all, but as soon as Hu Wenbin spoke, Lu Feng immediately became fierce. I'll leave this guy to you. If he dares to show up in school even once, you'll beat him to death. If something happens. Zhang Cheng paused for a moment, then smiled inexplicably. If you ask Wu Long for help, just say that you killed the Hu family's offspring, and I guarantee that he will protect you to the death. By the way, there is also the woman next to me. Before she drops out of school, give her a good greeting as a consequence of her bad mouth, Zhang Cheng said ruthlessly. Regardless of the fact that this is a hall, Lu Feng will solve it naturally without him having to explain. Hey, okay, Lu Feng agreed happily. After giving the instructions, Zhang Cheng returned to the dining table and looked at Lin Qingjian, who had tears in her eyes, and showed an elegant smile. I'm sorry, this meal made you unhappy. Come on, I'll take you to eat somewhere else. Lin Qingjian shook her head, wiped her eyes, her expression already showed a hint of caution and fear, and said softly, Senior Zhang Cheng, no need, I'll go back to school first. Zhang Cheng naturally saw the emotion in her eyes and nodded lightly, okay, I'll take you back. When leaving, Zhang Cheng glanced at the two guys who had ruined his good deeds. It took a lot of effort for him to get Lin Qingjian to let down his guard against him and get close to him. It was good that he was suddenly destroyed by them. It's good now. The good mood that was finally built up today was instantly consumed. The restaurant was silent, no one dared to speak. It wasn't until the two left that there was no noise from the restaurant. Damn it! It turns out that that person just now was Zhang Cheng. President Zhang Cheng. My former idol. I didn't expect that Hu Wenbin provoked him and dared to make him kneel down. He's finished now. No one in the school can save him. Everyone looked at Hu Wenbin and Wan Li with gloating eyes. Hu Wenbin's face turned pale. He knew that he had to graduate early and offended two people he couldn't afford to offend. As for Wan Li, that woman from an ordinary family but extremely jealous, she was full of fear. At this moment, there were only two words floating in her mind. It's over. After watching Zhang Cheng drive away in his car, Lu Feng looked at the two of them and grinned. You are very brave, Hu Wenbin, right? Let's go, we have a business we want to talk to you about. Taking Lin Qingjian back to school, Zhang Chengdu didn't feel the relaxed and cheerful atmosphere along the way. So depressed. As he was about to return to the villa, his cell phone rang suddenly. When he picked up the phone and saw the caller ID, Zhang Cheng's depression disappeared again, and he answered the call with a smile. Hey, Miss Su, what do you want from me? Do you miss me? Su Yao's voice sounded like an oriole coming out of the valley from the loudspeaker of the mobile phone. Zhang Cheng, are you going to the Song family cocktail party tomorrow? Su Yao didn't mean to argue with him. She spoke concisely and went straight to the point. When Zhang Cheng heard this, the smile on his face became even bigger. Go, I'll pick you up tomorrow night. After hanging up the phone, he looked at the Magic City School of Finance and Economics in the rearview mirror. It finally started. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 57. In the Magic City, all the wealthy families heard that the Song family was going to hold a cocktail party to celebrate the cure of Song Yunshen's chronic illness. They didn't believe the wording. The Song family held a cocktail party for this matter? Impossible. There must be other things going on, otherwise they would also invite many prominent families to participate. And it's not an ordinary cocktail party. Those who can receive invitations are almost all families with considerable influence in the city. Some families with assets of over 1 billion are not invited. Out of these curiosity, the well-informed family seemed to know that the reason why the Song family did this seemed to be to introduce the miracle doctor who treated Song Yun's Hung. After confirming the news, some elderly people from each family who were in poor health asked to attend the Song family reception. Ordinary people still cherish their lives and want to be healthy. What's more, they are people who hold high positions and have countless wealth. Naturally, they were even more reluctant to leave just like that. They valued it more than anyone else. They are happy to spend hundreds of millions to treat a stubborn disease and make themselves healthier. They also grasped the thoughts of these people, and the Song family also did not come out to refute. This was the effect they wanted. Old guy Song Yun's Hung, I don't know where he found such a miracle doctor. If this person is really that capable, most of the families in the Demon City will owe them a favor in the future. In the Su family, Su Hanhai frowned, looked at Su Yao who was sitting aside and said nothing, and sighed softly. Fortunately, if his granddaughter can catch Zhang Cheng, there is no need to worry. Yao has Zhang Cheng agreed to participate with you? Su Hanhai asked pleasantly. When Su Yao heard this, she nodded, her eyes flickered, and she replied softly, he said he would come to pick me up tonight. That's good. Su Hanhai breathed a sigh of relief. Although he doesn't know Zhang Cheng's current movements, he is also afraid that he will suddenly rise up and escape his control. However, as long as Zhang Cheng is caught by his granddaughter, there is no need to worry too much. But what he didn't know was that Su Yao didn't tell Su Hanhai what she saw in the restaurant that day. And she also vaguely felt Zhang Cheng's attitude changing. She originally thought that he would be controlled by her, but later, Su Yao gradually realized that she was being played by Zhang Cheng. The next morning, an earthquake occurred among the underground forces in the Magic City. Among the three major underground forces in the Magic City, Wulong is the oldest, but ranks second. The third is Wang Hu, who was trained by Song Cheng. But last night, Wulong abandoned the fastest growing property in his hands overnight. It's worth 2 billion. Guaranteed. Wang Hu saw this and swallowed it directly. His huge appetite shocked all underground forces. But the first force, Zhang Hanjian, the underground queen of the demon city, did not make any move, as if she did not react. So far, among the three major forces in Magic City, Wang Hu has successfully pushed Wulong down and ranks second. No one can shake the number one Zhang Hanjian. After the beginning of the new century, with the increasing development, those underground forces that once existed have long since dissipated. The older generation has almost died, and those who have not survived have spent their entire lives in jail. Those who have come out clean have become successful entrepreneurs, just like the Lufeng family. The development is getting better and better, and in terms of security, the higher UPS are also strict in cracking down. The entire demon city will no longer have the kind of godfather-level figure who unified the underground forces. As long as they don't cross the line, basically no one will touch them. Mr. Zhang, I have fulfilled all your requests last night. In their view, my behavior last night was a sign of weakness. Everything was given to that guy Wang Hu intact. On the phone, Wulong and Zhang Cheng explained what happened last night. Zhang Cheng was lying on the bed, leaning against the soft pillows, talking on the phone and looking at the computer. Zhang Cheng said slowly, "Well, you did a good job. Next, you should get rid of all the dirty things under your hands. Let others take the blame when it's time to take the blame. Remember, the people who make the most of the money are given adequate treatment, so don't worry about the little money to avoid changes in the future, understand? Find those subordinates who are older and have family pressures, and then give them enough money to take care of everything. Don't let the people of the Song family find out when the time comes." Regarding these arrangements, Zhang Qinshi went through careful consideration to help Wulong clear his name, and also to avoid unnecessary trouble himself. On the other end of the phone, Wulong nodded solemnly and said, "Yes, I understand." It was about clearing his name, for revenge, and for his son, he didn't slack off at all. Moreover, as long as he hugs Zhang Cheng's lap, is he still worried about not being able to make back the money? Now he doesn't feel comfortable using the money, for fear that it will be investigated one day. Zhang Cheng said with satisfaction, "Be sensible and do what I tell you well. You won't regret it?" "Yes, Mr. Zhang." After hanging up the call, Zhang Cheng looked at the computer and couldn't help but smile. People are never content with the status quo. The desires in their hearts are unsatisfied. If you firmly grasp this point, there is no one in this world that you cannot control. Even if the conflict of interests breaks one's head, as long as the two parties cooperate, they can obtain higher profits, and no matter how much hatred they have, they can be resolved. His fair-skinned fingers gently touched the enter key of his laptop, and a pop-up window quickly popped up on the web page. Transfer successful. As for relationships, everything is based on interests, and creating interests is of course inseparable from dedication. After closing the notebook, Zhang Cheng picked up his phone again, started browsing, and sent messages to several female protagonists. After teasing for a while, he sent Lu Feng another WeChat message. "Daily life of fish farming, today, I still continue to chat with the girls. Lin Qingjian is a little cold to me today because of those two idiots, but it doesn't matter, there are still opportunities, and girl Qingjian can't escape." In addition, the relationship with Su Qingying has made no progress. She is completely immune to his online ambiguity. "It seems that we need to find an opportunity to let my little cousin create some opportunities for us to meet by chance. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to see her depth. In the evening, I arranged to go to Song's house with Sister Yao. It was good, and I could have a heart-to-heart relationship with Sister Yao. Otherwise, it would be a bit embarrassing to neglect her these past few days. Today's summary: the relationship with the girls has not made much progress. Putting down the pen in his hand, Zhang Cheng looked at the fish farming diary he had recorded for several days and nodded with satisfaction. About the heroine's daily strategy. At night, Zhang Cheng, dressed in a tuxedo, came to the garage and drove the Aston Martin DBS towards Su Yao's villa. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 58. Outside Su Yao's villa. Zhang Cheng parked his car beside the road outside the villa, smoking a cigarette and looking inside the villa. Not long after, Su Yao wore a one-shoulder-long evening dress. This evening dress perfectly showed off Su Yao's collarbone. Her slightly curly light brown hair was carefully styled, making Su Yao look very attractive. Her delicate little feet look very elegant wearing a pair of crystal high heels. There was light makeup on her delicate face. Even though she didn't show any expression, you could still feel a touch of nobility and elegance from her body. A flash of surprise flashed in Zhang Cheng's eyes. Su Yao's dress really made people excited. Full of temperament. Are you sure you want to drive there by yourself? Looking at Zhang Cheng's car, Su Yao frowned and said softly. Zhang Cheng shook his head and said, "No, I just came here to leave the car here for you." Soon, after seeing the two people appear, a black and white double-color Rolls-Royce Phantom worth 15 million not far away drove in their direction. Stopping in front of the two people, the driver quickly ran out of the car and opened the door for them. Looking at Su Yao got in the car. After Zhang Cheng got in the car, the driver closed the door and drove to the driver's seat and sat down. After all, both of them are CEOs worth hundreds of billions. If they want to attend a cocktail reception for a wealthy family of the same level, even if he doesn't feel particularly formal, they can't drive there by themselves. Their status is there, no matter how bad they are, as the person in charge of a company, they will never know how to drive. The driver is Zhang Cheng's former driver, who experienced his cheap father's death and his bankruptcy. Today, while lying at home, Zhang Cheng auctioned off his old Rolls-Royce and asked the driver to drive it over. At the same time, in a manor owned by the Song family that was specially used to host gatherings of wealthy families. The lights were brightly lit at the moment, and luxury cars and supercars drove in from time to time. Some of them are company presidents who came upon invitation, or they are old people with deep influence but some incurable health problems. There are also some elite rich second generations who just come to party. In short, all those who can come here tonight are top-notch upper-class people. You may think that there is no distinction between the upper class and the lower class in society, but there is indeed a gap between you being poor and being rich, and the gap between being rich and being rich is even bigger. In the manor villa, Song Qing was wearing a suit and sitting on the sofa with Ye Tian talking about things. It looked very pleasant. "Brother Ye, many of the people who came today are here because of your name. There are also many people who come to see you these days," Song Qing said with a smile. For Song Qing and the entire Song family, there have been more distinguished guests in the past few days than in the past year. Some families whose power was only half as powerful as the Song family also behaved much more politely than before when they came to them. And the person who brought all this to the Song family was Ye Tian, who was sitting calmly in front of him. For the first time, Song Qing felt what it meant to have absolute strength, and even one person could be comparable to a wealthy family. Ye Tian showed him this example very well. Actually, there's no need to make such a big show of it. Ye Tian was also a little excited. After all, his income from treating those in high positions and top wealthy businessmen these days was not small. The important thing is that I gained a lot of favors. As more and more people were treated, Ye Tian's medical skills became very good. Because the Miracle Sutra inherits not only medical skills, but also the insights of treating diseases and saving people. As he treats people, these insights will gradually appear. The body's functions will also become better and better with the blessing of the true energy of this wonderful sutra. Brother, yeah, you don't understand. Holding a cocktail party now may seem a bit high profile, but it will also make your reputation resound throughout the upper echelons of the demon city. Who wouldn't know that you are the reincarnated god of medicine by then? After all, some of the diseases you treat these days are not even treatable by Zongnanhai's imperial doctors. The more he continued, the more excited Song Qing became. It seems that all these honors belong to him, but in his opinion, as long as he has a good relationship with Ye Tian, no matter what he does in the future, he will be able to do it extremely smoothly, even taking over the Song family. With Ye Tian's relationship, he can also have the confidence to let the Song family take a further step in his hands. After getting along with each other these days, Song Qing also felt that Ye Tian seemed to have different thoughts about his sister. The imperial doctors in Zongnanhai are not comparable to newcomers like me. They are all seniors who have been immersed in traditional Chinese medicine for decades. Listening to Song Qing flattering him, Ye Tian had a smile in his eyes and raised the corners of his mouth. Although you are told to keep a low profile, there is nothing you can do if someone tries to keep a high profile by advocating for you. Anyway, for him, Magic City can only be regarded as a springboard. A booster tool that allows him to jump to a higher level, comparing the entire Dragon Kingdom and the entire world. Magic City can only be regarded as a cornerstone. Only by entering the capital and establishing a foothold can he be considered at the pinnacle of the Dragon Kingdom. No, a master is a teacher. Brother, yeah, don't question your own excellence. Song Qing waved his hands repeatedly and praised Ye Tian, and the good words came one after another. After saying that, Song Qing suddenly approached Ye Tian and said mysteriously, "And I heard that an old man with a terrifying identity will come today. The author has something to say." Woohoo, I feel so uncomfortable. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep. But as a result, something happened and my mood was shattered. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 59. As time goes by, at night, the parking area of the villa estate is filled with luxury cars and supercars. There was even a long line of cars parked on the asphalt roadside outside the manor. It can be seen that this cocktail party, which is not too well known, has attracted many wealthy families. Many people want to meet the miraculous little miracle doctor who has been rumored recently. People who come to the reception may not have serious illnesses, but they still have some minor ailments accumulated over the years. Like back pain, headache, chest tightness. The most important thing is kidney deficiency, little energy. Because they all heard that this little miracle doctor from the Song family recently cured a rich man who had been begging for a child for many years. I also heard that the rich man's wife was originally dissatisfied with him, but there were exclamations that night. The maid who came to clean the next day saw that the rich man's wife was walking with a limp. After the news came out, the entire wealthy circle of the Magic City immediately became excited. Young people are even more attracted to it. With the ability bonus, not only can they control 10 at night, they can at least control 2 at night without having back pain. The Song family is still prosperous. Song Yun is an only son, with only one father, Song Qing, and Song Yiwei. However, he has many brothers, all of whom started their own business together in the past, and they have flourished quite well. The Su family that was hostile to them also had many direct members, but the only outstanding descendant was their daughter Su Yao, and the rest were basically second-generation ancestors who were waiting to die. Compared with them, Zhang Cheng's family can be said to be extremely shabby. They have been a single family since his grandfather's generation and have no relatives. At most, they are his mother's family. When seeing people walking around inside and outside the huge villa, the waiters who were invited gradually became busy. Later, when the rich second generation, whose status was not too low, arrived, Song Qing also came out to greet them personally and took them around. They were chatting and laughing, and the topic was all about which industries made money, and which industries they invested in had good returns. The second generation of rich people are not all brainless. Most of them have strict family traditions. They have been exposed to higher elite education since childhood, and they have an incomparable understanding of investing in stocks, funds, and futures. Because they have stood at the end of other people's lives from the moment they were born. Young Master Song, will your Song family's miracle doctor show up tonight? Can you recommend him to me then? A rich second generation with a goblet in hand and an extremely confident temperament looked at Song Qing and asked with a smile. Yes, we also really want to meet this legendary doctor and see if we can get a prescription. It doesn't work even if you ask for a prescription. You've ruined all that stuff. Ha ha ha, it was done in the same room. Master Luo's speed shocked us. Before I even finished taking off my pants, he was already wiping me there. A group of people walked along laughing. In their world, apart from learning to make money and participating in various social gatherings, the rest of their hobbies were just that. No one has ever killed 100 people. Hearing this, Song Qing smiled and said, "Young Master Bai, don't worry, the miracle doctor will come over later. I still have a good relationship with Divine Doctor yet." Having said this, Song Qing is still very confident. Because he was responsible for leading Ye Tian to meet various rich people these days, including all his own arrangements for his itinerary. In order to expand his network during this period, he didn't even go to his club very often. They just told Li Rui and Wang Hu to pay attention, and then they stopped paying attention and focused entirely on Ye Tian. Moreover, Song Yunzheng also intended to let him have more contact with Ye Tian. After all, he was also his own grandson. The huge Song family he had established could not be passed on to the descendants of his other brothers. The young man who was called Young Master by Song Qing also smiled when he heard this. That's good. Young Master Song will introduce it to me then. After all, you also know my old man's body. If it is really cured, count me as the Bai family and owe you a favor. Hearing this, the 7 or 8 rich second generations present could not help but express surprise. Song Qing was shocked. The Bai family was not an ordinary family. It might not have much wealth on the surface, but the power he came into contact with was definitely not comparable to that of the Song family. And what he said just now was that he owed a favor to himself, not to the Song family. Song Qing's mood immediately improved. With these words, she had to ask Brother Ye to help her once. Don't worry, Mr. Bai, I will have a good talk with Brother Ye. Bai Fei smiled and nodded. In fact, he didn't have much hope, but as a model of a loving father and a filial son, he still chose to try his luck. A few people walked around the manor. When they returned to the manor, they found several old people getting out of the Maybach and Bentley. They were greeted by the energetic Song Yunzheng and walked into the hall with a smile. Seeing this scene, several rich second generations couldn't help but said with envy, "Young Master Song, it seems that after tonight, the Song family's status in the Magic City will be further improved. Young Master Song, please don't forget each other if you want to be rich or noble. At least we did pick up girls together back then." Listening to everyone's flattery, Song Qing also felt elated. However, the next inappropriate words rang out, making Song Qing's face darken. "I heard that the Su family took Zhang Cheng away and seemed to want him to marry Su Yao. Do you think the Su family will come over tonight? Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO." Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 60. Humph, Zhang Chen is just a son-in-law, so he is just a son-in-law. How can he be compared with us? Song Qing looked a little unhappy and snorted coldly. He has been looked down upon by Zhang Chen before, saying that he is simply an insult to gentleness. What does it mean to be disgraced? Is it wrong for me to develop entertainment clubs and my own power? I am insulting the gentleman, but I am not getting better as I get better. You, a gentleman, have become a bankrupt CEO, and now you are relying on the Su family to survive. I heard that Zhang Chen and CEO Su Yao will also come here tonight for a cocktail party. By then, hearing Song Qing's angry tone, the young man who had just spoken and carried Zhang Chen out immediately said again. The other rich second generations beside them were drinking without saying anything. They had no interest in intervening in the feud between Song Qing and Zhang Chen. I came here just to meet the young miracle doctor, to make friends with Song Qing, and just to get him to recommend him to her. Song Qing frowned and said coldly, Huang Wei, what do you want to do? The young man who spoke was the eldest son of Huang Qingxiang, the current head of the Huang family. He was not very smart, but he was flattering, but he was quite knowledgeable in flattery. Huang Wei smiled coquettishly, young Master Song, I'm just talking casually, don't worry about it. That day, Zhang Chen came to humiliate the entire Huang family. Huang Wei had long been unhappy with him, that is, he told Song Qing about the Huang family's rejection of Zhang Chen, otherwise he would never have had the chance to attend the reception here. However, his words gave Song Qing some inspiration. If Zhang Chen dares to come here, it is not impossible for him to arrange his people to do something. Young Master Song, I think it's getting late. The old people have gone in to chat. Why don't we go into the living room too? Seeing that the atmosphere was a little delicate, Bai Fei stood up and suggested. I think it's okay. Let's go in early and see who the little miracle doctor is. If we are young, we can go up and talk to the miracle doctor. It is better than blowing the wind outside. Let's go. The second generation of wealthy people talked to each other and walked towards the huge villa in the manor. However, at this moment, a red Ferrari LaFerrari roared into the villa estate, whizzed past several people, and squeezed directly into a parking space. Everyone looked sideways and saw the LaFerrari's butterfly door opening, and a tall young man getting out of the driver's seat. Looking at a few people, the young man grinned and said, I'm not late, am I? When Bai Fei saw the young man, he smiled and said, Shabai Lufeng, why are you showing off your uncle's car in front of me? Ferrari LaFerrari is limited to 499 units worldwide, and you can't buy it if you have money. There are purchase conditions for Ferrari LaFerrari when buying this car. 1. The net worth must be above 50 million. 2. There is no record of Ferrari changing hands, otherwise you cannot buy it. 3. I must have proof that I have purchased 5 Ferraris. The harsh conditions naturally mean that not many people in Dragon Country own this super sports car. The price of this car is close to 30 million. If you resell it second-hand, you can even make an extra 10 to 20 million. Lu Feng acted as if there was no one around and spat directly, Bai Fei, you are defeated. If you hadn't sneaked into me without practicing martial arts last time, would I have lost to you with my drifting skills? Changing the topic, Lu Feng said again, you, Bai Fei, never attend such cocktail parties, why are you here this time? Bai Fei's smile slowly disappeared and he said softly, it's not like you don't know the situation of my old man. I'm here to try my luck. Lu Feng was silent for a while after hearing this, sorry, you are about to inherit the family business. Should I congratulate you? Roll. As they chatted, the dejected scene disappeared, and Lu Feng also got into this small circle. He and Song Qing chatted about dirty jokes from time to time. It seemed that he didn't see Song Qing and his group being beaten that night. He actually saw it. I also saw a few rich second-generation people here being so frightened that they called them daddy. Song Qing, Who is that miracle doctor in your family? He has been rumored to be so miraculous during this period. Even I said that if there is something wrong, he has to come over. When he came to the hall, Lu Feng's eyes flashed and he asked. Song Qing naturally did not dare to neglect Lu Feng's questions. Although the Lu family seemed not as powerful as his Song family, their network of connections was much denser than that of their Song family. I don't know much about brother yet. I only know that he was brought back by my sister. Lu Feng was thoughtful. I guess his so-called miracle doctor was the one who got into a fierce fight in the bar that night. It was a coincidence that night, Zhang Cheng said he would use his connections to go to the bar, and Song Qing also came, bringing the miracle doctor with him. And they both have a crush on the school beauty who works in the bar. Just when Lu Feng thought he was about to reveal the truth, a cry of surprise pulled him back. Hey, look, Su Yao and Zhang Cheng are really here to attend this cocktail party. Everyone looked outside the gate. Two excellent landscapes slowly walked in from outside the door. The woman wore a one-shoulder long evening gown, slightly curly light brown hair, and a faint smile on her face. Beside her, Zhang Cheng, dressed in a tuxedo, had the aura of an immortal. Her perfectly angular cheeks, a heart-warming smile hanging from the corner of her mouth, her eyes as deep as the starry sky, with a charming color, and her pair of sword-shaped eyebrows and starry eyes, all exude nobility and elegance. At this moment, the aura of the thug in a suit was in full swing, making Zhang Cheng the highlight of the entire reception from the moment he walked in. Although everyone no longer looks down on the down-and-out Zhang Cheng, they will not underestimate his temperament and charm. If such a person is combined with the Su family, he will definitely not be much behind the Song family who has a miracle doctor. Some people sigh with emotion, and naturally some people are jealous. There is always a malicious look in a corner. When they arrived, the reception officially began.